Okay.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to our third episode of Read
Read the
the
room.
Room. Me and my brother Cam J Network. Obviously, I know this is a new series that we have started where we try to help people put the puzzle pieces together and kind of just be a little bit more alert as to what's going on around y'all. Now, usually this will only be done surrounding big events, big cars, things like that. And obviously, most of YouTube and the rest of the world has seen Laila Ali's response to Claressa Shields' years and years of throwing jabs at her and taking stabs at her and just being a little difficult, if you will. So, me and my bro, we're going to react in real time to this video. So I'm gonna start it, and then, bro, you let me know when you just feel antsy and you want to just jump in here, because I mean, we could just, you
Okay.
know.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I'll
Yeah,
go
I'm
bring the
I'm ready
video
for it.
up, and we are going to go ahead and get this video started.
Making a comeback, and people have had a lot to say, but I have not addressed it until now. And I know everyone wants to know the answer to the question, will I be coming back? And I promise you, I'm going to give you that answer. But first, I have got to address the lies and the fake narrative that's been created years ago. Now, someone's gotten way too comfortable dragging my name and even using my father's name to get attention and clout. Now, in case you haven't heard it, her story is that I didn't support her and I didn't pass the torch because of my jealousy and envy over her accomplishments in boxing. She says that I disrespected her and I started talking about knocking her out simply because I was bitter that she's outdone me. I've seen a lot of the comments. Many of you have good discernment and understand what's really going on here, while others have believed her lies over the years or have formed an opinion without having all the facts. Now, originally, I wasn't even going to give this my time or attention because I really don't engage with people who thrive off of negativity, drama, and buffoonery. But I'm not about to let someone with bad character continue running freely, dragging my name without accountability.
That's not gonna happen.
Come on now, listen. Layla Ali is just Muhammad Ali's daughter. And
No, come on, we ain't gonna do
no,
that.
that is right.
Come on, come on, Layla can rumble though.
And Wolf would have knocked Layla Ali out. You know, she would have knocked Layla oh so pretty ass out.
So this right here is the consequence. Now, I have been busy working on other projects that required all of my time and focus, which is why I'm just now saying something. But honey, I have made the time to address this. So today, the bad guy ain't getting away. Now let's hit rewind because we really need to see what's happened over the years, what got us here. Now I'm not about to do the whole he say, she say thing, so let me show you some receipts. I first met her in 2012 when she was invited on stage to stand next to me when I gave my father his Liberty Medal. At some point, she reached out, started asking me for advice, wanted to know if she should go to the Olympics a second time or go pro. She would also call me and let me know when she was fighting. Now, at the time, I was one of the hosts of We Need to Talk, an all-female sports commentary show that still airs on CBS. I asked the producers if we could do a story on her. They agreed. So I got on a plane, flew to Colorado, and did a full sit-down interview with her. Now, this is just a shortened version of the 6-minute piece that aired on CBS in 2016. 21-year-old Claressa Shields is as confident as her right hand is powerful. Soon, Claressa will be heading to Rio for the Olympics to try and do something that has never been done before. I sat down to talk with her about changing history and being a positive spark for her hometown. You should have heard the story by now. The one about a kid from Flint, Michigan who has gone toe-to-toe with adversity and stands undefeated.
But I'll always go back to Flint and help.
I know that when I was fighting, any of my struggles that I had to overcome or anything that I was upset about, whether it be something personal or something going on in the world, I would use that anger, and take it into the ring with me and channel that energy into the ring. Have you ever done that?
I did that a lot. I was going through stuff back at home, but I would have a boxing match and I would take out everything I was going through on the girl, and that kind of helped me because after I boxed, that was my ultimate high, and I felt like my life was perfect for at least 2 weeks. So
Clarissa's father, a former underground fighter, was passionate about boxing.
he went on to tell me that Muhammad Ali's daughter, Laila, took after him. And he was like, and my dad, he says to this day, Layla's a bad girl. He says all the time. He said, nobody in our family took up boxing. I thought when he told me that, he was telling me to take after him.
Claressa beat the odds to win gold in 2012. When the Olympics start in August, she'll try to be the first American boxer to win back-to-back gold medals. Everybody's going to be fighting you harder. Everybody's going to be trying to elevate their game. They're going to be running hard. They're going to be training hard. They're going to be dreaming about beating you. How are you preparing for that mentally and physically?
Honestly, I've learned how to beat every fighting style. Tall girls, short girls, girls my size. Cause I'm like, I'm pretty good, I'm pretty great, you know? I don't know what
You're supposed to feel that way about yourself.
Yeah,
like
I
you wouldn't have been able to get to this level if you didn't feel that way about yourself.
Yes.
I don't know about you ladies, but I have absolutely no doubt that Claressa is going to win gold again in the Olympics. Women's boxing wasn't even in the Olympics when I was boxing,
Right.
so I'm like, do it for us, because she's in the weight class I would have been in. So I'm
Yeah.
like, go get it, girl, go get it. There's a lot of women who have been training for a long time, and nobody knows who they are. So the Olympics just really gives them a platform and something to strive towards. I didn't even fight amateur because I was like, I can't go to the Olympics. Why should I do that? You know, I wanted to be in control of my career, but it's so great to see these young girls coming up. You know, you got year-olds now and 10-year-olds, and they're inspired by people like Claressa. Now, as you can see, I was genuinely rooting for her. I gave her praise. I gave her a spotlight. When she asked for advice, I gave her valuable branding advice and boxing advice so she could have long-term success in and outside of the ring. I told her about the challenges that I faced fighting at 168, where there was limited competition, and I suggested that if she decided to turn pro, she should consider going down in weight, somewhere around 148, where she would have more competitive challenges. I told her she should hire a nutritionist, trim off that excess body fat, and get into elite next level shape. I pointed her in the right direction, and I had high hopes for her. Whether she decided to turn pro or not, I felt like her future was bright if she played her cards right. But of course, at the time, I was not aware of her divisive, vindictive, and malicious nature. And I know those are strong words, but they actually fit. This girl has created a pattern. It's been directed towards many people time and time again. Now, before we started our interview in Colorado, she said to me, "You're the name people say when it comes to women's boxing. You're the face they know. I want that to be me." Now, looking back after everything that's unfolded, it seems pretty calculated now. Like she was waiting for the right moment, the right excuse to finally do what she'd already made up her mind to do. I mean, that's how it feels now. She told me she saw me as the face of women's boxing, and she told me that she wanted my spot. And she's been on a mission to ruin my reputation ever since, simply because she heard me make a comment that was not about her and she took it personal. Fast forward to 2018, I was promoting my cookbook, Food for Life, and went on The Breakfast Club, a national show with millions of listeners. I did a 36-minute interview, and when the topic of boxing came up, I actually mentioned her and made positive comments. Then much later into the interview, I was asked about the possibility of a comeback.
You ever get back in the ring just for fun?
You still train?
I stay training.
Got you.
Yeah, I got a little baby six-pack right now.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I have a heavy bag hanging in my, I just turned 40.
Wow.
Can you believe it?
No.
I know. I just turned 40. I can't believe it either. And because I think of my healthy lifestyle, the fact that I train all the time, I could pretty much do anything I wanted to. Well, I don't think there's anyone there for me right now that would actually give me a good challenge.
How did you and your husband argue? Because he can't, usually you can say something slick, but with you can't say that slickness.
You was on the Food Network's Chopped.
Yes.
And you won.
I did a couple times.
So what brings you more joy, winning in the ring or winning in the kitchen?
I just like to win, period. Definitely boxing is my first love, and, cooking is something that I'm super passionate about.
Gotcha.
It'll be a part of my life forever. I'm not somebody who sits back and complains about things. I think everything happens in due time. You got Claressa Shields now, who's an Olympic champion. She's a young black girl, came out of Flint, Michigan, lived a hard life, went through a lot. She went to the Olympics, won twice. Women's boxing wasn't in the Olympics when I fought. She actually fights at the weight class I fought in. And she's doing great. Women's boxing is getting some good attention. Now remember, at the time, we were on good terms. She was reaching out to me and referring to me as Big Sis. But this was her response.
I watched the Breakfast Club video with Laila Ali. I have so much respect for her, and I like her. I actually call her my big sis, but it was so many shots thrown. Like, if y'all really paid attention, her saying, oh, there's not nobody good enough at 168, my weight class. that could give her a challenge when I'm the #1 in my weight class. And, you know, I'm just like, you know, nah. And, you know, I just feel like, you know, she gave props where it's due, but, you know, she also spoke on how, you know, what I'm doing for women's boxing is great, but it's not great enough for her. When it's like, we got two different goals and sets in life. You know, me winning 2 Olympic gold medals is just the beginning. You know, even when she was boxing, she never fought on Showtime, HBO. I fought the main event on Showtime. I don't know how many times now. You know, fastest woman to win a world title. I did it in 4 fights. You know, and yeah, you can say, oh, the competition isn't there, and this girl wasn't that. But like I did it up in 4 fights, and the girl that Laila Ali fought wasn't, you know, that great either. I mean, like, I'm the best female boxer that I've ever seen, and you know, if Laila Ali wants to come back, we can rumble, we can go. You know, this is not like, oh, I'm gonna step away. Like I respect her and everything, but you know, you're not gonna come back and beat me. You know what I'm saying? Like, this can happen. You know, I just don't like the disrespect. And this is my last video too about this. You know, I never used her name to try to be like, you know, try to call her out of retirement. It's basically like she's talking about she come out of retirement, she just gonna beat me if she decided to.
So I'm going to pause it right there because I have something that I would want to just speak upon. You know, having seen this again for the second time today, because obviously we both watched it earlier. The exaggeration, the reach. I didn't get any of that from what Laila Ali said. Did you, Cam? I didn't get any of that from anything that Laila said.
I didn't get anything out of it at all, sis. I'm looking at it like she showed you love among, you know, the whole interview with Breakfast Club. She said she acknowledged that, you know, you did your thing. You was first gold medalist to win it twice up there. You know what I mean? She showed love. So I'm just looking at it in that aspect. Like, and then she insinuated that she wanted to come out of retirement and fight her. I didn't get anything out of that. She just said, like, yo, I've been working out and stuff like that. And then she spoke about Claressa and gave praise to her. She didn't say, oh yes, I want to fight Claressa to come back and stuff like that, the way Claressa insinuated it in her part or her little clip.
That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, I don't understand you know, where she got that from. Like, because you know, when I watched it earlier, I kind of just watched it and just, you know how you watch something the first time, you just kind of engulfed in it. But rewatching it again, I said it the first time, but watching it again, I'm like, nah, yo, I didn't get that. Like, I feel like Claressa's, you know, aftermath video or whatever the hell it was a complete and utter reach and a stretch. She manipulated words. She added words where there were no words. I didn't hear her say anything about her outside of, like you said, giving her praise. I didn't get that she was challenging her in any way, but you know, let's continue.
Go ahead.
Now, of course, I didn't respond to this, but I noted it. For someone who hardly had any experience as a professional boxer and who was supposedly looking up to me, for her to think that I would even call her name in a conversation about me fighting or making a comeback was silly to me, especially since I had literally told her that I retired from boxing because I didn't feel inspired or challenged anymore by the level of competition that was available to me. We had that talk. So I learned a lot about her character and her mindset. She took what I said out of context and made it all about her. I decided I was no longer going to invest time or energy into her. But she, on the other hand, she took it straight to social media, started comparing her boxing skills to mine, making negative comments about me, and pitting herself against me in a fight. A year later, I was doing press for my show Homemade Simple on OWN, so I went on Sway Universe, another syndicated national show with millions of listeners. We were talking, he asked me about boxing, he asked me about her, I said positive comments as usual, then he plays one of her visits.
Are you watching women's boxing today?
Oh yeah.
You like Claressa?
I do. I think that she's a talented fighter, and she has the opportunity right now. The stage is set, you know, so now she just has to kind of do her thing.
Talk about Homemade Simple, airing Saturdays 9 a.m. on the OWN network. Okay, it's an incredible show. I had Claressa here, right? I asked her who does she think will win and you against you in your prime and her now. And this is what she said.
She's not cut like me. She don't take the challenges. Like, she didn't fight against Ann Wolf. I fight against the best and beat the best. And if Laila Ali was to come out of retirement, I beat her too.
That's not anything I haven't heard before. First of all, she's supposed to feel like she's the greatest.
Absolutely.
But just because you think you are doesn't mean you are.
Okay.
I like to support and uplift people, and I think that on your way up, just do your best not to disparage those that have come before you. First of all, she could never beat me.
Okay.
Let me just get that straight right now.
You want to get that straight, Laila?
Let's get that straight right now.
Okay.
And not simply because she's not strong enough, okay, because I would definitely knock her out, but because she's not talented enough to beat me. It's a sweet science to boxing. The reason why you have not been able to knock out the opponents that you've already faced, I can totally see it. Why? But maybe if you would have been a little more respectful, and I'm not talking about thinking you can beat me and call that, do all that. I'm talking about just trying to, she didn't do this, she didn't do that.
Yeah.
I don't respect her as a boxer. I only respect her as a businesswoman. I've heard her say that before. I was always there for her because she's a young black girl from Flint, Michigan.
Yeah, Flint.
And I want to help uplift her because that's the Ali way. I am successful in so many areas outside of boxing. Boxing is not what defines me. There's always going to be another girl. But I tell you what, when I offered her to spar me, that definitely was a check right there to see. Let me see what kind of heart she has. You should come whoop me just for bragging rights. And she didn't take me up on that offer. I said, okay. And let's put this in context. I'm only talking about this because you're asking me.
She's done a ton of interviews since then, and she's always saying I disrespected her. Now you've seen what she's been referring to. So she felt justified to go on a tirade. And of course, she's twisted the story over the years and taken my comments out of context. Now, according to her, I just started talking about knocking her out just out of jealousy. Now you've seen what I said, what she said, how this started, and you can see she pitted herself against me in a fight. Now, I know some of this younger generation may not be familiar with me, but I've never been one to just talk about things I can't do. When I said that I would knock her out back in 2019, it wasn't any different than what I've said to anyone who's challenged me in the past. You can go back and look at tape on me. That was not just talk for me, it's what I did. TKO, KO, it didn't matter. I was gonna stop you. It wasn't going to a decision. And if you didn't belong in there with me, I was gonna get you out of there. That's just facts. That's not disrespect, that's boxing talk. Back then in 2020, I did get to a point where I was ready to get back in the ring and show her why, even though she is talented, I said it back then and I'm saying it now, but she could never outbox me. High-level promoters did reach out to me directly, and we had some serious conversations about me making a comeback. Now, of course, she was never even involved in any of those discussions. Then COVID happened, you know how that was, and it all went away, and I left it alone. Now, here is just a small glimpse of the narrative that she's been building over the years.
But I feel like Laila Ali has always been kind of envious of me. I'm just so accomplished in women's boxing, and she never got that due diligence and that respect. So to see me getting it kind of pisses her off. So you look at who she fought, her biggest test was freaking Vonda Ward and Christy Martin. And Christy Martin weighed in at 140 pounds, and Laila Ali was 160. Like, how are you making matches like that? So Laila Ali is a hater. That's it. Nothing but her being a hater and her being, you know, envious of my success and what I've done for women's boxing. And she feels like she deserves that credit because everybody kind of give it to me now. Like, and I think that she's like, but, you know, I'm an Ali daughter, and I boxed before her, and I'm 24-0 with 21 knockouts, and she kind of, you know, want people to keep acknowledging her. She's retired.
She's retired.
And
She's
been
probably
retired for a long time.
43.
I hate when somebody else try to take somebody else's shine, somebody else's attention. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
she's, you know, nobody was trying to take her attention when it was her time. Undisputed champion. She's never been undisputed. And people are comparing me to her, and she gets offended. When it was like, to me, I thought it was a good comparison because I feel like I box way better than her. And for them to be saying that me and her are equal or whatever, she should have been happy because of that, because they're giving her more props on her skills, which I feel like she didn't really have that much. But, you know, whatever. Yeah, we had Laila Ali. Respect. But she can't do for women's boxing what I'm doing. I'm gonna be different because I'm gonna give my blessing, or I'm gonna let a girl take her blessing. And what that means, I'm gonna fight the girls coming up, and if they beat me, now they're the best. That's how you do it. My advice, Laila, is you will look a lot better, and people will stop calling you a hater and calling you jealous and old and bitter. If you actually stop hating, bro, you will look better if you was to support the black girl from Flint who made it out the trenches to where she at now. You will look a lot better. She wants to try to make it still seem like she's somewhat relevant in women's boxing. When people give her props about how she built up women's boxing, and I just don't feel the same way. What really did you do for women's boxing? Like, you let it die. You let it die for 20 years, and then I had to come and put in all this extra work to get it to where it is now. I think that wasn't fair, and I don't think that she was as big as a pioneer in women's boxing as she thinks she was. Because I would never do that. I would pass the torch.
There are hundreds and hundreds of women who have participated in the sport of boxing over the years. They have all made a contribution in their own way. We don't need to argue over who's done more. That destructive crab in a barrel mentality is exactly what we don't need in the sport. Here she is on a recent podcast explaining how she's passing the torch and that she has created a blueprint for success, which she is now sharing with other female fighters.
Okay. So,
Mm-mm-mm.
just,
Nasty work.
I'm disgusted. But just a few things that I want to point out, right?
Facts.
I don't know if you want to start pulling the seats, but a few things about her uplifting other female boxers, that is 100% not true. Okay. She is very selective, I've noticed, with the women that she will uplift and the women that she will support. Any
Absolutely.
woman, in my opinion, that she feels is taking shine away from her, she will not uplift them and she will not support them. Um, she is amongst the biggest names in boxing, but if you want to be honest, Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor are right up there with her. Um,
Absolutely.
just as far as namesake in boxing. As far as Laila Ali letting boxing die, I'm not so sure that that's 100% accurate either. She retired from the sport a while ago when women's boxing wasn't even yet at its peak. It was still being built.
Right.
I watched her story where she said her father didn't even want her to box. There weren't a lot of women boxing back then. And to say that she fights the best of the best, I'm not so sure that that's true either. I mean, she's the best of the rest, which is not really saying a lot because there's not a lot of women still to this day in her weight class that can compete at the highest level. So I kind of feel like she's up there by default.
I absolutely agree with you, sis. I'm like, the thing is, you notice the pattern that, with Layla, she's painted the picture pretty much that, yes, I've gave you your love. When you were coming up, had an interview with you, showed you love. After that, showed you mad love in multiple interviews, and then you take one interview out of context and believe that I was hating on you, and now you're picking at a fight with me when you want. That's pretty much what it's looking like. You pretty much want is just to fight this woman. This woman never said that she was coming out of retirement to fight you, and then the fact that you will put that narrative and the atmosphere that Layla didn't put on for boxing, like you said, sis, she didn't. No, at that time, women's boxing wasn't at a high peak. It wasn't. You had, of course, Layla. You know, Kristen. All these other women that kind of Ann Wolf. A lot of these people that put women boxing on the on the platform and put it very well at that time, but it wasn't mainstream at all. It just recently really got mainstream within you want to say honestly the last 5, 10 years, a little bit, but it's still not at its peak.
I was
Jake
going to say
Paul
the
is
first
elevating it where
female.
it's at right
Hmm.
now, and she's the
Yep,
one that don't want to be a part of what Jake Paul has going on with MVP currently right now, because Jake Paul is
absolutely.
taking upon all of the women right now currently in boxing. So leave the
Absolutely.
promotions, they got a few women. No, PBC got a handful, maybe. Top Rank got a couple handful. It's not that many. So with Carissa to be like, oh yeah, she didn't elevate boxing. She elevate boxing for her time. When you have your time, it's your time to elevate it in your time. So I totally disagree with that take with Clarissa saying that she didn't elevate boxing, because she elevated boxing in her era. As every boxer has their different eras. You know what I'm saying? And Clarissa, yes, you're one of the greatest of this era. Yeah, but at the same time, you can't sit there like Layla said. You can't sit there and shit on what Layla did for the sport and these other women as well.
Yeah, let's finish this up because I have a lot more that I want to unpack
Go
with
ahead,
this.
go ahead.
Says that the number one thing they need to know is how to build their brand.
I actually promote a woman fighter, and I'm giving her all the jewels and stuff that I know, so she can get her big paydays too. It's a blueprint now on how you make $1 million, even if you don't have the gold medals. The biggest blueprint is build your brand.
Oh, she must have forgot years ago she recorded this and said that I gave her the piece of advice that she is now referring to as the most valuable piece of information that you need to be successful. But supposedly I didn't support her and I didn't want to pass the torch.
Laila Ali told me to build my brand, a good brand, and a brand that I want to represent and stand for. And she said, have good people behind me who I trust.
So this whole idea that she started about me being jealous because of her accolades and her surpassing me, do you realize that for years, fans have believed that there's so many fighters that are better than me? I mean, they have more titles than me. Multi-million-dollar fights are happening, more money than I ever made, more money than she's making. So I guess if I'm supposedly jealous of her, I must be hating on them too, right? Nope, I actually celebrate other women's success. I have relationships with those women. We have mutual respect. It's all love. She's the only one who decided to make herself my opposition. And she has created this drama and she's kept it going for the past 8 years. People came to know her because she kept calling out my name. She's obsessed with me and she literally cannot keep the name Laila Ali out her mouth. There are people who will say, she's confident, she talks trash. That's what fighters do. Yes, fighters talk. Nobody did it better than my father and me, and we backed it up. I've never had a problem with a fighter saying they could beat me or that they think they're better than me. That's expected. I don't consider that disrespect. But what I do have a problem with is a liar or someone who intentionally tries to disparage me in order to gain visibility and respect. As I mentioned in my interview on Sway, about 8 years ago, I offered her sparring during one of our phone conversations. I was like 40, 41. It was just to give her some work. Well, she changed that subject and never took me up on the sparring. So when I mentioned it on Sway, there was a lot of comments from the public because people were surprised that she wouldn't have taken that opportunity. Now, can you imagine if she and I were to get in the ring and spar back then? You know, there would have been camera phones, it would have been recorded. She would have proof of what she could do and vice versa. So I guess after the feedback and comments that she saw, she felt the need to take it to social media and put out an excuse.
I said on Sway that if I was so tough that I would have sparred her for brownie points. I am a 2-time Olympic champ. Only thing that matters to me is what happened outside of practice. She talking about practice. Take the Ellen Iverson talking about practice. I don't care about sparring nobody. I'll get in there and spar and work with anybody. All I care about is fighting. But like I said, she don't really care about women's boxing.
So that was her response. Why sparring? It doesn't mean anything. But many years later, she comes up with a whole new story.
And the thing is, she keeps saying, one time she asked me to spar. Let me tell you this. Jason Crutchfield was my eyes and my ears back then because I was naive. I don't pay attention to stuff. Jason had already told me back then she feels some type of way. Coming in, gold medals and doing your thing, he like, she feels some type of way. But she's still embracing you though. And I said, okay, whatever. But I had mad love for her though. So it was like, the closest thing to Muhammad Ali is Laila Ali. So I love this girl, you know what I'm saying? And look at her, took her advice and everything. He said, when we're going down here, because she had appointed me to give Muhammad Ali the Liberty Medal in Philadelphia. Now that when she asked me to spar, I said, you want to spar me? And that's when it was more of like a, dang, I hate that coach was right about you. I'm like, okay, well, we can spar when you want to spar. I got my stuff in the car. She like, no, it ain't like that. I'm more about, let's not talk about it, let's be about it.
Now, you know that was a flat out lie. We know that if that were true, she would have said it years ago when it first was mentioned that she wouldn't spar me. There is absolutely no way she would have passed up the chance to tell everyone that she called my bluff and I backed down. Now, can you imagine if she and I were to get in the ring and spar back then? You know, there would have been camera phones, it would have been recorded. She would have proof of what she could do and vice versa. I did an interview with Andre for his podcast too, before I had a chance to see her episode. And if you go watch her interview, everything's I think this, somebody told me that, no facts. I need you to understand how deep this goes with this girl. Now I know she's on a constant search for validation. She needs to feel important, and it's obvious she's fixated on me. But watch how she sits on The Breakfast Club, the same show she saw me on back in 2018 when I said I wasn't making a comeback. She goes on in 2020 after dragging my name for years and acts like she has no idea why I no longer support her or want anything to do with her. Now, she knows The Breakfast Club is a national show with millions of listeners, so she's careful not to say anything negative about me because that wouldn't fit the story she's trying to sell. Instead, she plays it safe so she can position herself as the victim.
Do I want to fight a 41 or 40-year-old Laila Ali? No. I want to actually her embrace me, I embrace her, and we build women's boxing to the place where it's supposed to be at. But I don't think she sees that vision. Like she doesn't show me any kind of support. Like I see her all the time comment on this other boxer girl page, Katie Taylor, and always telling her congrats and everything. But then with me, it's like she don't show any kind of respect or acknowledgement. And I'm a black girl just like she is, who came up hard, and I have to been making my way forever. Like I made my own way. I wasn't handed anything. Just about supporting each other. You know what I'm saying? But
I wonder why she wouldn't though. Like, what, did you say something about her back in the day?
I just think that in boxing, she feel like she never got her fair share. I feel like she never got to the point where she wanted to get to. And people recognize Laila Ali, but they always try to say like, oh, she only was big because of her dad, and they don't really give her props on her skills. I'm not one of those people. And then some people say that she didn't fight Ann Wolf, but me being a woman fighter, now I realize that it's hard to make big fights with other big women. It really is. So think about it. Back then, when it wasn't a lot of money, wasn't TV exposure, I kind of can see why her and Ann Wolf didn't fight. But people's story is that she was scared of Ann Wolf, and Ann Wolf would have knocked her out. And that's their story.
3 months later, she takes her mask off and she's back to her usual story.
Well, Ann Wolf, you were a better fighter than her. And I believe that that's where this whole beef started from. That, you know, I spoke on that. She hates whenever your name gets mentioned. She still to this day mentions your name. Say how you were scared of her, how you didn't want to fight her. And I don't believe that for 1 second. And she may have a bigger name, but that's because women's boxing wasn't supported how we are now. If Laila Ali came up in this generation, she would not be known. Nobody would know of her. I know for a fact you would have put Laila Ali ass to sleep. So just because you couldn't do it, you know, you didn't have the opportunity because, you know, she didn't want to sign a paper to fight you, I'm letting you know now, I'm going to kick her ass for the both of us. Yeah, we all know Laila Dudley and Wolf. We know that. We don't got to, she know that. Everybody know that. It's literally written, I think, somewhere.
Now, I've seen this before with Ann Wolf, another fighter who used the same playbook. Both of these women have a lot in common in terms of the way they've been able to get visibility for themselves by using my name and making up lies. Since I'm in the season of pulling skirts, I'm gonna go ahead and pull hers too, and I'm gonna do another video on her next. That lie that I would not fight her has been told so many times as if it's a true fact. So I'll be gathering my receipts on her too, since she wants to start talking again. This one is so detached and delusional that she actually praises my father while trying to trash his daughter.
Yeah, we had Laila Ali, but she can't do for women's boxing what I'm doing. Because I kind of feel like God wants me to be like the next Muhammad Ali. Because I kind of feel like God wants me to be like the next Muhammad Ali. I think it's Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, me. That's it. Learn from Muhammad Ali. If you don't validate yourself first, nobody else ever will. You know, if she wants to be like in the public and keep her name tied to mine because I'm young and popping. Right now, it's my time. And she wants to keep her name connected to mine. Listen, Muhammad Ali would never. Her daddy would never. Her daddy would never. Maybe she don't have that in her genes.
Now, what father would embrace someone like her or want to be associated with someone like her while she's trying to tear down his very own child? My father was the greatest of all time because not only did he have a beautiful, one-of-a-kind style in the ring, he was also a remarkable individual outside of it. He used his platform to uplift and inspire people. He carried himself with integrity, kindness, and grace. He was someone our community could be proud of, and he represented us well. You know what my father would say? She's a generic wannabe. My father would not want to share his name or image with her. She does not represent anything about him in the ring or outside of the ring. Now, many of us, including myself, had high hopes for her. I supported her. I sent her off in the right direction, but she has become a disappointment. She is a horrible representation of both the sport and our culture.
Beneficial. Fuck them if they win against you. You don't need some bitches with you. Her man ain't got no balls, so you know his dick little. Not them fake hoes, do it for the real women. I ain't fucked this nigga 2 years still bitching. Girls who think they just so pretty and just because they born light skinned that they just all that. That they can come up with shit talking shit. I look better than you. I look better than you, so you can get off my shit. Light skin, red bone. Yeah, get your funny looking ass up out of here. I don't play with these hoes.
You have a clear picture of what our relationship was and what exactly happened in the past that led to today. Now, do you believe I'm jealous of her accomplishments? So in part 2, I'm going to discuss that $15 million offer and finally answer the question everyone wants to know. Will I be coming back to boxing to get that knockout? If you want to know when part 2 drops, turn on your notifications.
Man.
Man.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
bro.
So I just think, just to start off with, says in particular with Layla, I will say this. Claressa, definitely one of the greatest of our time. If a lot of people y'all want to say Claressa, the best woman boxer of all time, hey, I'm all for that. That's fine. And Danny, but she's going off of the accolades pretty much that, yeah, I did more than you within the sport. Okay, yeah, but everybody didn't have a lot of the opportunities that you have. Like, for instance, like, yeah, you're 3-time undisputed, but at the same time, it's how you got the undisputed too. You know, this competition in recent time in that heavyweight division ain't been too swell. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like a fighter that's in a division where they fight a couple fights where both of them guys that's got titles within that division. It look like them guys ain't that well. You know what I'm saying? So it just comes down to where Laila Ali, she never really hated on this girl ever. And Claressa, she's took something and ran with it and has posed so much in depth to where she put it out there in media that Layla's hating on her. She put it out in media that Layla is bad for the sport and everything, and bashed her name, and then said Muhammad Ali wouldn't do the things that Laila Ali has done. Laila Ali has done within the sport and stuff. It's just crazy. It's crazy, sis. Like, just to see all of that in 4K when Layla, all she said about her was, "Oh yeah, I would beat her in the fight if we were to fight." And she took that and ran with it deeper too, saying that she wanted to come out of retirement to fight her, which Layla never said that she would come out of retirement to fight her. And that's just insane to me. And now you got all of this recent news now, and where she didn't came up with a $15 million check from who knows. It wasn't from Salida. Like, it wasn't from Salida.
I have to agree 1000%. As usual, we're always on the same page, which is why we created this little segment together. So I want to just go a little bit deeper and kind of tie some things together to once again help people read the room, right? So obviously, for those of you who didn't watch it, we kind of played it in long form, kind of tried to just break it up to provide a little bit of context in between. But I want to go a little bit deeper. So when Claressa Shields said that she uplifts other women, well, that is just simply not true. Obviously, we know that she's had issues with a particular boxer, several of them actually, throughout the years and in recent timing. So this was Amanda Serrano congratulating her February 3rd on her latest performance against, who was that, Lainey Daniels? And
It was no, it was Daniel Perkins.
Daniel Perkins. I'm sorry. Yeah, she didn't fight Lainey Daniels till a little later. I apologize. Daniel Perkins. And this was her response. This a little dry, boo, but thanks.
Right.
How was saying congratulations dry? This is what I don't understand about this woman. Not only does she want acknowledgments, she wants praise. And I feel like she's a very bitter young woman. So let's continue, right? She also has an issue once again with Amanda Serrano. Okay, as we can see here, this was her response to what was that after she said dry?
Yeah, this was Amanda Serrano's
This was
response to.
Amanda's response. For
Yeah,
the
this is.
record, I'm all for women fights that break news barriers for us all. In order to even be competitive with the men, we have to do things first. I've always been an advocate for that. All my Katie and Claressa accomplishments empower us all. What is there not to be happy about? If you are female, celebrate it. It will trickle down to you one day. I don't understand. She's taken several shots at Amanda Serrano. Amanda Serrano continues to take the high road. But to me, this just goes back to where I feel like she's delusional at times. The whole situation that she created between her and Laila Ali was created in her mind off of something that Laila Ali never said. She never said anything negative about this young woman. I don't understand this, but it's not just about other boxers because here we are. You know, what was this? This was she still don't have the sports of the year. This was her response after Angel Reese won Sports Athlete. She went to the BET Awards assuming that she would win. She did not. Okay. I still don't know how I didn't win the Women's Sportsman of the Year, but congratulations to Angel Reese and all the other females. I just thought accolades mattered. And this goes back to what you said. She's living off of accolades, right? First of all, I feel like that was a backhanded compliment. She's known to do that. She's done that several times throughout her back and forth with other women throughout the sport. And as we can see, it's trickled now into the basketball, where she constantly gives these backhanded compliments, or when someone gives her a compliment, aka congratulations, that's not good enough for her. I'm starting to wonder what is going to be good enough for her. Because obviously you're not comfortable with congratulations. You're not happy when other women win. So for you to say that you uplift other women, that's simply not true either.
Facts.
Let's take it a little further. Alicia Baumgardner. Here they are, once again, her and her hate parade. So I want to say something. I love that Alicia Baumgardner is getting the platform she deserves. You go, girl. Even though she thinks she's the best female boxer, that's okay. Lots of work has to be done on her end to take my number one spot. Katie Taylor, number 2, and Amanda Serrano, number 3. She's young and has time. Give them hell and get those accomplishments up there. You perform and show your skills, you will climb the rankings. Was that necessary, brother?
I'm like, damn, shit. I forgot that Alicia was undisputed while she was talking just damn.
You would think she was a goddamn newbie. You would
Like,
think she
I'm
was
like,
a damn newbie.
like, did her career just start? Damn, just damn, like, damn. And
But this is her idea of a compliment. That's my point.
Right. Absolutely, sis. And then just think about what Laila, when she showed all the pictures of all the women fighters that she supports, and that she shows loves to. So the only issue that she, pretty much expressed was the fact that Claressa then had this whole animosity with her since that Breakfast Club interview. And the thing is, she's talking about elevating the sport. You're not elevating the sport when you going at Alicia, when you're going at other women within your space within the sport, and you're going at other women, including Angel Reese right there. You know what I'm saying? She's a young black woman trying to, up her space within the WNBA. That's not uplifting. That's not black women empowerment. You know what I'm saying? That's not women empowerment in general. You know what I mean? So she's be out of pocket at a lot of ranges. And the crazy part with Laila dropping all of this receipts and dropping these gems that she did, yesterday, it took away all of the whole Tank Davis, chatter with her on $1 million worth of game. All of that went away. And then with all of this coming about, she gave the dry response back to this as well.
Yes, speaking of that, that's my answer to people fight. We fighters, so fight. I don't know what that even means, bro. First of all, it was vague as hell. I feel like she just felt like she had to say something because she was cooked, fried, and laid to the side. Okay.
Man.
With all of those receipts that Laila Ali pulled, anyone who can still side with her after that is just clearly siding with her purely because they want to side with her, because the facts are there. She provided the receipts, and she provided, even more importantly, a timeline of those receipts. And if you want to fact check her, I'm sure you can go pull up all of those interviews yourself and watch them. But I personally don't feel like this woman has a reason to lie. I feel like she has had enough. It has been years of Claressa Shields constantly saying her name. She's not lying. Everything. If she's not disrespecting Tank or some other type of woman fighter, or literally just hating in general, she's talking about Laila Ali. I feel like you're talking about she's trying to keep her name relevant. How relevant are you keeping her name? All you do is talk about the woman. It's almost like a Shakur and Tank situation. If you're not talking about Gervonta Tank Davis, then who you talking about, and who wants to hear you talk?
And remember, we talked about it, sis, with Claressa, she looking at the Laila Ali fight, looking like that's her super fight. That's her legendary fight. And she's been pushing for it. And you look at all of the receipts that Laila Ali dropped, that she's basically been fishing for a fight with her the whole entire time. The whole entire time.
As if somehow that will validate her in some sort of way. So say for whatever reason Laila Ali comes out of retirement, and say for whatever reason you do beat her. What has that proven? That you can be a fighter that's been retired, that came out of retirement, that's 40 plus years old? Is that what you're proving? And who are you proving it to? Who are you proving that to? Because we sit up here and we joked about, I say all the time, they need to lock that box, the senior department of box rec, and keep it locked. But I mean, are these fighters that bored with their weight classes and everyone surrounding it that they now have to go and pull fighters out of retirement to fight them?
Man,
is that what we're doing now?
Yeah, and I'm not all with it at all, sis, because I never care for this fight to happen due to the age situation, and then on top of that, Laila has not shown that she cared to fight her at all throughout the years. Yes,
Laila has
when her name gets brought up to her, yes, Layla's going to respond now, and especially she's going to respond in a different kind of way. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be the same way after all these years of Claressa just dissing her and slandering her name, and then putting her name upon bad upon Muhammad Ali on top of that, like saying Muhammad Ali was never all. That's crazy, sis. That's nasty word.
You wishing you were his daughter, but I want to take it back to the very beginning, and maybe I'm reaching or I'm looking too deep into this. You let me know what you think, right? But in the beginning, she said, my father would always say Laila Ali was a bad girl. And no one in our family boxed, and I took that to mean that he wanted me to box. What if she's trying to please her father through Ali, or jealous of Laila Ali? Who knows how often her father talks about Laila Ali? Who knows the relationship she has with her father now? This girl is jealous on so many levels and ways. I wouldn't even put it past her. You're living in Laila Ali's shadow, and she ain't even related to you. You put yourself in her shadow because, as you said, and as we saw, she elevated you at first. She gave you the spotlight, a young black girl from Flint, Michigan. She mentioned that. You mentioned that she should be supporting me. I believe she was. I don't think that show that she was on was thinking about you. She wanted to bring you on this. She wanted to spotlight you. She made mention of your accomplishments. No one else did that for you. And then for you to turn around and then use that somehow, an interview that she did that was not talking about you, because as Laila Ali stated, boxing was a minuscule part of her life. This woman has been on so many shows. She has her own cooking shows. Boxing is in her rearview mirror. Okay, she has transitioned and transformed her life. which someone at her age, if they did right with their money or not, or made the transition at the right time, should be doing. I shouldn't see no 40-plus-year-old in a damn boxing match outside of Bernard Hopkins. I don't want to see that.
Facts.
You need to
Facts.
find somebody in your weight class or around it. You said you would go back down for the competition, then go back down. As far as you sparring Laila Ali, I don't want to hear that you don't do sparring because you've been running around here sparring chicks off Bad Girls Club. So what are you talking about, Claressa?
Absolutely. And even like with that spar session situation, like I guess a whole clip of her saying that, oh, I don't want to spar, I just want to fight and stuff. Let's line it up, let's fight. And then she on the interview with Andre Ward saying that, oh yeah, I called her bluff about sparring and stuff. Like that's crazy right there. Like that's in
That's what I said.
4K.
She literally pulled the receipts on your ass, and anybody still supporting Claressa after this is supporting her blindly just because they want to support her. But I will tell you this, right? And I know I don't want to drag them into it, but they all suffer from the same delirious ass disease. Her, Bud Crawford, and Shakur Stevenson. No wonder they're all buddies, because they all suffer from a disease that I call the clout chasing conundrum. Okay, they are completely delirious. Okay, they twist other people's words and make them something that nobody said or heard. I didn't hear Laila Ali mention her before she said Claressa Shields is coming up. She's amazing. She's this, she's that. You took it as she want to fight me, I'll fight her and all. Where did you get that from? You made that up in your mind.
Facts.
This happens when you're insecure and you're jealous. When you are an insecure, jealous, bitter individual, you tend to do things like this. For instance, Shakur Stevenson, as he goes around, all he wants to do is talk about Gervonta. Now, if this is your legacy fight, sir, maybe I get it, but every interview, he's scared of me. He's scary. He's this. She talking about saying he's scary. He's this. He's that. The delusion in these people, I believe, is really a disease. She talk about fighting men. She thinks she could beat Jake Paul. She thinks she could beat Keith Thurman. Listen to her. Just listen at her. Then on top of that, she tried to take away from Bud Crawford's accolades when he won. I mean, he's the first man, but I'm the first one, period. Once again, it's not about you. I feel like if it's not about her, she has a problem with it. And that is the biggest form of insecure. Let somebody else shine. You don't have to rain on other people's parades because nobody's talking about you. That doesn't mean that people don't respect your accomplishments or appreciate what it is that you brought to the game. That just means that right now we are discussing somebody else's accomplishments and what they brought to the game.
Absolutely, sis. You couldn't have said it any better than that. Because even with, like you said, with the Bud Crawford becoming undisputed, and now talking about Bud Crawford and Nawa anyway, and Usyk, them becoming undisputed. Like she like, oh well, y'all ain't mentioned, the women and stuff like that. They're talking about them. They don't have to be about you. Like she tries to bring her name into conversations when necessarily her name don't have to be in these conversations when it's that person's moment at that very time. That be the issue at times, as a lot of times too. Like Claressa gets a lot of praise, a lot of love, a lot of people, even including myself, like I said before, one of the greatest women of all time, definitely the best that's done it, that we've seen from, the amateurs on to the pros. But at the same time, we don't have to praise you all the time. Just like with Bud Crawford right now, everybody, a lot of the Bud Crawford fans want us to praise him for being 3-time undisputed. Okay, yes, we gave him his praise that week after he beat Canelo. We ain't got to continue to do it every damn day on our platforms. Like, we ain't got to do that. You know what I'm saying? The accolades is cool and everything, but after he fought Canelo, now we like, what's next? We want to see what's next. That's where I'm at with it.
My thing with this whole situation of praise, I don't give them praise. I will give them acknowledgement, but they will never get praise from me because I read the fine print. Yes, you may be a 3-time champion, but you've never defended a title. I said this on my live last night. People call Jerron Boots Ennis an email champion, but we have to read the fine print. Why he was an email champion is also as important. The fact that Bernie the Boxer came out and admitted that they strategically wait until somebody else goes around and collects all the belt and then they fight them. To me, I will not give you praise. I will give you your respect for accomplishing what it is that you've accomplished. But to me, You don't get the praise that you're looking for. And I think they know this, which is why they're so bitter and angry and constantly seeking validation.
Man, absolutely. Like, and the validation is, you get it at that time, then we move on. Boxing is 24/7, 365. We moving on to the next, man. After that, we want to know what's next with these people. And we want to know what's next with Clarissa. If she gonna fight Shadeja Green, or she gonna rematch Franchon Cruz. Like, that's the stuff that we're into. Like, we want to see you fight active boxers, boxers that's active, that's getting in and making their mark within the sport right now. Laila Ali, she's not active. She hasn't been active in years, in almost, what, 15, 20 years. So
That's
why
why
are
I
you
said,
pushing to fight this woman?
how
Like, it's
much
no
praise
reason to
are you
continue to
looking
fight
to
this
get
woman.
for that? How much praise are you looking to get for fighting a retired fighter who will be coming out of retirement for after, like what you said, 15 to 20 years to fight you? How much praise do you really think you are going to get from that? Like I said, seeking self validation. That's it. I guess this will be the biggest name on your resume, win, lose, or draw, I'm assuming. However, there are active boxers that you said, as you mentioned, brother, you can be fighting. I know Franchon Cruz has been chasing her and her team down to get a fight, to get a
She was at her
rematch.
last fight. She was at the
She was at
last
her
fight in
last fight.
hopes
They would
to
not
make
let her
the
into
fight.
the ring. They would not let her into the ring or make, even come near Clarissa, when she said that was the reason she went there to begin with, to ask for the rematch. Now, to keep it 100 with you, I don't know if Shadeja Green can beat a Claressa Shields. But as you
Hmm.
said, these are the type of women that you should be trying to fight, not retired boxers. For all of your accomplishments and all of your accolades, like Laila Ali said, what the hell you worrying about her for? That's how I
Absolutely.
know that y'all don't believe in y'all selves for real, or y'all don't really care about those accolades. Y'all are seeking self validation. The same way how Bud went on this tirade and said that EJ doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame. How dare you? He did all the work
Mm,
that you came in and snatched the credit for at the damn end.
mm,
These
facts.
these people are seeking self validation. This is why Shakur is still running around here chasing after T.O. If he ain't talking about T.O., he's talking about Tank. He's talking about somebody to solidify his spot because they're not doing it on their own. Now, granted, people may have ducked Shakur. That may be very well true. But there's also people that he's ducked. Albert Bell being one of them. Tito Mercado being another one. Herrera is another one. There's also opportunities that they could have taken. He could have fought in Devin Haney that they decided not to take. For whatever reason or another, these are opportunities that presented themselves and they passed on them because their sights are set on one particular person to seek their self validation.
Absolutely, sis. Couldn't say no better right there. Like, it's all about the fact that these people literally are in these conversations of, oh, we this such and such did this. This person was lineal. If he this person beat this person, he was lineal. Oh, that was the man. Like, I don't, like I've been saying, I don't be caring about all of that lineal talk and all of that. Like, the accolades is cool. It's about who you be. And you look at some of these resumes of some of these people, like we mentioned before, like, we know with these guys with certain promotional companies via Top Rank, they put you in great position. Top Rank been, feeding these guys millions of dollars, thousands of dollars to fight, and putting them on with, you know easy championship title runs, and been really giving them a great, and
Your mic on. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and they've been giving these people a great career over their career, as far as, giving them like simple title shots right out the gate and building their career and building their name. Like, Top Rank, that's the place where you go and get, you a belt automatic out the gate.
Hmm.
And everything's
I
been
will.
fist fed to them. And then, just tying back into Clarissa, Clarissa, yes, you became undisputed recently at the heavyweight division, but it was an easy run for you. It was an easy route for you because it ain't no competition down there. Now, I would love to see Clarissa go back down there in that division where Franchon is at, and Shadeja, and go grab those titles back from them. You ran that division. You was undisputed in that division. Go get them titles back over there. That's what we want to see. We don't want to see you with Laila Ali. Laila Ali doesn't have no desire to fight. You know what I'm saying? She's already exposed that for years, and you can just go ahead and end this whole clout chaser run off of Laila Ali and just make your own mark. Be your own woman. You don't have to attach your name to Laila Ali no more.
And I've said that several times. I hate when people do that, right? I hate when people attach their name to other boxers, right? For whatever reason, right? Because I feel like you don't really have to do that if your skills are there. And I'm not saying that she's not skilled, because she's definitely skilled. But I just don't understand why it is that she does that. And to your point, go back where the competition really is. I feel like she can easily make that weight if she gets back disciplined, because she didn't look in tip top shape her last fight, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I'm right in agreement with you 100% for real, sis. Because I think because she know the competition wasn't that crazy. She didn't have to go crazy with that, especially with the weight. She don't have to, maintain her weight too. That's why she don't have a desire of going, lower down to fight like a girl like Alicia Baumgartner, when she was the person that said she'd go down to 147 to fight her, and then she changed her whole tune with it, which is I was cool with it if she would have been like, "Yo, Alicia, you want to fight me? Let's fight at 154, 160." If she say that out the gate, but when you made it an adjustable weight for Alicia, where Alicia was like, "Hey, I'll go up to 147 to fight you," and then you backtrack on it and make it look crazy at that. You know what I'm saying? She should have been from the gate like, "Yo, I'm not going to fight you at 147. I'm not fighting you at 140. I'm not moving that low. I'm going to fight you at 154 or 160. It's going to be at the weight that I want. I'm over you. I'm the A side. Woo woo." But she didn't do that though, sis.
She didn't do that because she has no desire to do that. Because if I'm not mistaken, there was also supposed to be talks about her going down to fight Amanda Serrano. It just appears to me, as I said before, that this young woman, I don't know why, she just seems to be very bitter and very jealous. She's seeking validation in whatever form, a way that she can get it. Um, you know, but she just seems extremely insecure. She obviously feels inferior to Layla Ali in whatever way, or for whatever reason, when all this woman did was uplift you and try to build you up. But when you have a jealous spirit, sometimes things like that just really don't matter, you know.
Absolutely.
Um, I just don't know. I mean, Layla Ali has provided us with all the receipts, and I'm looking forward to part two, because I want to see how this all transpired, what really led up to that. What was it, $15 million?
Yeah,
Um,
$15 million.
$15 million that she supposedly offered. And like you said, Salida definitely, maybe they raised it, a GoFundMe child or something. I don't know.
It seems
But
like it was from somebody from like Michigan, some company, some business or something from there,
well,
or
because it'll
something
be the
like
biggest
that.
name on her resume. Now, don't get me wrong, Savannah Marshall, Hannah Gabriel, all those are really good accomplishments, because I actually like Hannah Gabriel. Hannah Gabriel was the only one to really drop
Absolutely.
Clarissa. And I know people are going to say that, Hannah Gabriel popped dirty, but she also was cleared of those charges. So, we have to add the whole story in there. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So people say things and then leave out crucial parts, just to fit their narrative. But we're going to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth on Read the Room.
Facts.
The
And
fact of the
then
matter is, Claressa Shields is an extremely accomplished young woman. The fact of the matter is, she is the best of the rest. The competition level is not that steep, so it's not really that difficult. She does have skills, and she's extremely talented, and she should be happy with that. Layla Ali has moved on. Boxing is in her rearview mirror. She's in the second chapter of her life now. Who wants to revisit that? She has absolutely nothing to prove and no reason to turn backwards, in my
facts,
opinion.
sis. Facts. Like I said too, with Clarissa, she definitely wanted to know. I feel like she can beat Shadeja Green. I feel like she'll beat Franchon Cruz Dezern if they fight again. Like, so we just want to see those matchups. We don't care to see her with Laila Ali because what I'm saying. That's like me saying I want to see Tank fight Floyd Mayweather. I don't care to see Tank fight Floyd Mayweather. He's out of his prime. He's out of his he out of the game. He's not fighting anymore. He's retired. We don't want to see those type of matchups. You know what I mean? So let alone I don't want to see Tank fight Jake Paul, but it is what it is. He do what he do. That's a whole nother story. But just in general, Claressa Shields, amazing fighter. Definitely best in the game currently. I got I got my money on her with a lot of fighters, but at the same time, outside of the ring, that's where the controversy comes with her, and she needs to be able to hold herself outside of the ring better and a more no woman man manner like that. No, that's not what she doing. You're not wearing your crown properly, baby. You're not wearing your crown properly. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like you gotta wear your crown properly. You know what I'm saying? To let the haters hate and do their thing, but at the same time, Clarissa Shields, she's not no hater though. I mean, Layla Ali, she's not no hater. She ain't hating on you, baby. She try to support you and try to show you love from the beginning, even when you was coming out of Flint, Michigan, showing you giving water out to your city and everything, and and everything. I'm just saying, she shows you a lot of love, and you confuse her with your interview that you said that you would beat Layla Ali in the fight, and she responded to you and you didn't like her response and you took it for hate. You got to read the room better, my baby. Got to read the room better, baby.
She definitely needs to read the room because Layla Ali definitely just smoked her in that
Big
video.
time. Ooh, wee.
Smoked her like a cigarette in that
She
video,
got
and it
she
was
got to
nothing
come
but
back crazy.
receipts.
Like if you gonna come back, you got to come back crazy.
She this is
If
almost
Clarissa
like
got to come back, it better be calculated. Cause Layla Ali, she pulling them receipts out, man.
look,
I'm
I was
like,
about
I'm
to
looking at
say
her she thinks she missed the receipt. She thinks she Damn J pulling out all these receipts. I'm like, damn. I was getting excited when I was seeing this early this morning. I was like, damn.
listen. I said, God damn, she done did a what was it? The takeover, and what was Jay Z shit? I forget what his was. See, look at that.
She done did
She
a
done eated
Nas
her ass.
Easter. She just
Yeah, she
Eastered
done eated
her
her
ass.
ass. After you did your little takeover, she done eated your ass. You know what I'm saying? So don't poke the bear, baby. She's basically telling you stop poking the bear. You know, I don't know. I'm not interested in that fight whatsoever. But the fact of the matter that it's even in conversation is strictly based on Clarissa's narrative, which anybody who watched Layla Ali's video will be able to see that that narrative is now dead. So you're gonna have to come up with
Absolutely.
some other way to keep them eyes on you, baby.
Got to, and that's what I was saying. If she just stuck to what she do well, is kicking these girl ass and collecting them checks, and shining, she won't have to worry about nothing. She worried about the outsiders what they say too much, and that's the issue. You ain't got to worry about the outsiders say too much. You know what I mean? Stop wanting the validation. You getting your validation. You know what you done in your career. You don't need everybody to praise you, baby, every time. That's all we saying, Clarissa. That's all we saying.
That's all we saying, and I'm gonna tell you like I tell my goddamn child, you worrying about the wrong shit.
Facts.
You worrying about the
Facts.
wrong shit.
Facts.
Worry about them girls you can actually get in there and rumble with instead of begging Layla Ali for attention in a fight.
Absolutely,
Get in there with
sis.
some of them women who actually want to get in there with you and be bothered with you.
Facts.
Because it ain't even with her coming out of retirement, it ain't like your ass to be the A side.
Man, that's what I'm saying. Like that's a whole nother case right there. So that's what I'm saying.
So
She's fishing for a big money fight, and she just gotta correct her own wave and get the big money fight in her own way. Because Layla, she's not the one that she's gonna get it off of.
pretty much,
She gotta
you know what
read
I'm
the room,
saying?
sis. She gotta
I
read the
listen.
room.
She gotta read the room. I hate for Layla to tell her like Tank told Shakur, get it out the muck.
Man, man, you might see that on this next video. That's what I'm like. Layla, she's very calculated. You gotta love it. She had like 1,000 subs
Oh,
yesterday,
she's nice
and
nasty.
and
I
then
love her
she
nice
and then
nasty.
she ended up getting like on her channel now with that video dropping. She has like up to 16.2K thousand subs now. Then like she was very calculated and smart with it for sure. Like I love it. I love the gotcha bitch moments.
Oh, you know I love me a gotcha bitch moment, baby. Oh,
I
and she was
love
so
it.
nice, nasty with it. She was such a. I love me some nice,
Killing it with
nasty too. She was
kindness.
so
That's
nice, nasty.
I love
Oh,
when you see a
I
person
love
kill
it.
somebody with kindness. That's
And just the grace and the style she
the
did it with.
most
She wasn't
crazy
up there
parts right there.
cussing. She wasn't up there cussing. She wasn't up there with no ghetto black girl attitude. But them buzzwords, crabs in a barrel, jealous, deceitful. Oh, they
Mm,
fit so well. Buzzwords, baby. She was.
man,
I'm telling you, that was absolutely a KO for sure. So
man, big time,
salute,
sis.
salute, salute to Laila Ali.
This
Still
was great.
beautiful, still graceful, still picking and choosing her words wisely like she picked her punches. So shout out to her. Claressa Shields, I'm gonna tell you this, baby. You is smart, you is important. You don't gotta keep chasing
Man,
self-validation through other people, mama. You are a very woman. Now, if you just get out your feelings, you will be okay. You have every reason to
absolutely.
smile, yet you choose a reason to frown. You can
Absolutely.
have a good day or a bad day, and either or depends on your attitude towards it.
Absolutely, sis. Yeah. This was another one. This another banger.
Another bang, bang, banger, banger, banger. Well, thank
Another
y'all,
banger.
y'all. This was episode 3 of Read the Room. We had to get this to y'all because I'm telling we was just itching. We was itching to do it once
Yeah.
we seen this
Yeah.
video.
'Cause
We was itching.
we weren't about to do a read the room show till like next week or week after for real. But then like
Yeah,
this came
yeah,
about.
but
This is something that's
this
real interesting. And this
this was
like
whew.
this is something like you're gonna continue to get from us where you're gonna get certain topics where we'll break down them in depth. You know what I mean? And really cover them very well, man. And allow y'all people to see things in depth and layers and allow y'all to read the room, man, clearly with some of these situations. A lot of these situations within boxing, I tell people all the time, it is simple logic. It is not hard to read the room in a lot of these situations, man. You just got to see it through. See it through for what it is. That's all. Read the room. Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, brother. This was another banger, y'all. And we
Facts.
are good to go. Let them know where they can find you and catch you, bro.
Yeah, you already know Cam J Network on YouTube, and you already know follow me on all my socials at Cam J Network as well. Cam J Network 513 on TikTok, but all of my other socials on Facebook, Cameron Jordan, Instagram and Twitter, Cam J Network, and we'll be live. We live every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern times for Sorry But Not Sorry Boxing Talk Wednesdays, and we'll be back live in direct for that this upcoming Wednesday. And we working, man. We working.
We walking, we walking. Well, I'm Jab Queen Boxing, which y'all already know. I will be live tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, honey. We're going to get to some more of the news, and we are going to see what is happening in the sport of boxing. Also, next week, I will be rolling out episode 2 of Next to Jab with a special guest. Watch the video, it'll be dropping soon. And until then, as usual, y'all know what to do, baby. Catch Mother on a panel. Y'all have amazing, amazing Friday afternoon. We gone. Peace.
We out of here.